this. There's two schools of thought here. One school of thought is that this ex-KGB Putin guy is just playing mind games with this naive businessman, Donald Trump, and he's bending him into doing whatever Russia wants, and he's going to take full advantage. And then there's the other school of thought that says, you know, you have this businessman and pragmatist that's coming in. He's a very keen negotiator, and he just wants to warm relationships a little bit better because the last 8 years have been pretty frigid between President Obama and Vladimir Putin, and there's really not a lot wrong with that. Is that how you see it?
Well, you know, all this is a little bit stupefying. You know, Trump is rattling the saber, saying he wants to have an arms race, which is a really silly thing to do. Yes, Trump is right. We should strengthen our military.
I don't think he said he wants an arms race, excuse me. He just said if there is an arms race, let's have at it because we're going to win it.
Why is he even talking about an arms race? When you want to strengthen your military forces, you do so quietly, wisely, and effectively. You don't brag about it. You don't try to provoke other countries.
Well, it's funny that you say that because when he was asked about his strategy to defeat ISIS, he says he wasn't going to share it because he wants to remain unpredictable, and that's not what General Patton would do. And then he was mocked by the liberal foreign policy establishment. So which one is it? Do you want him to tell us what he wants to do, or do you want us to not tell him? Well, I can't figure it out.
Look, I just got back from Iraq last week. You know, the strategy against ISIS is actually going pretty well. I think the reason people criticize Trump is because he had no strategy on ISIS. He said he was keeping it secret as a way to hide the fact that he didn't have one. He doesn't understand the situation.
As I recall, President Obama said he didn't have a strategy to defeat ISIS either. Rick, tell me about this. The arms race phrase. I mean, it sets off a lot of alarm bells with people. They think, you know, they're ducking under their desks in the Cold War in the 1950s. Was that a bad phrase to use, especially on a phoner with some host in pajamas on MSNBC?
I don't think so at all, and President Putin didn't take offense to it. I think that it does conjure up thoughts of the past. But look, I think that we're dealing with the reality right now where the Russians have talked President Obama of having a missile defense shield. So we've got to modernize. We've got to catch up. We're going to be playing catch up for a while. So I think President-elect Trump is absolutely correct in trying to signal to not only the Russians, but to the American people and to Congress and to everybody else that we are going to modernize. And you can criticize him for that, but peace through strength has obviously worked, and that's the policy that President-elect Trump is going to pursue.
And Putin also said some other things, David, about some Democrats. Hillary Clinton said she was a sore loser, and that President Obama is a divider and not a uniter. What do you think's going on with Putin? I mean, there's a lot of bad blood here. Is this a personal thing? It seems pretty personal, doesn't it?
Well, this is very interesting. All of our intelligence services believe that Putin and Russia interfered in our election. It's odd now that he is criticizing the Democrats and talking about them being sore losers when he and his country attempted and probably did interfere in our election. So they tried to make what he wanted to happen come true. I don't know why he's talking about our internal politics, but all I know is Russia should have nothing to do with our internal politics.
That's true, and it's very easy to not be a sore loser when you can basically imprison your political opponents like they do in Russia. Guys, thank you very much. When the Factor returns.